Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 79 of the Shauna Stitches Podcast. I'm Shauna, and this is my crafty podcast where I talk about all the things I've been working on lately. Today is December 30th, 2023, and can you believe we have today and one more day left of 2023? I really can't believe it's almost 2024. Thank you all for joining my channel here today. I'm very excited to talk to you about the things that I've been working on and the things that I want to be working on and all my plans for 2024. 2023 has been quite the year. I think we can all agree, and maybe that's what we say at the end of every year. I don't know. Do we ever get to the end of the year and it was an excellent year? I don't know. Hopefully we can say that at the end of 2024. Let's get into everything here. Before I start talking about any of my projects, I would like to say that show notes are down below and you can find links where you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram, and there are links to all the projects that I'll talk about. Although today I might not have links to everything, but everything will be on my Ravelry page and you should be able to find it. If for some reason you still have questions, I haven't answered something fully, or it's just a question about something else, please leave me a comment or reach out on any of those different links there. All right, so first let's talk about finished objects. And actually I have my computer here. I have a feeling I'm going to be referencing it a lot. My first finished object that I'd like to show you are my December Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. Quite the interesting colorway, right? This was my scrappy sock. So in the Desert Vista Dyeworks socks knit along, it's a yearly knit along where you knit one project, either a pair of socks or a hat that uses at least half a skein every single month throughout the year, and you earn different prizes throughout. So you're allowed to do one pair of scrappy socks, and I chose my December socks to be my scrappy socks, and I knit all 11 colorways that I used throughout 2023 into these socks. I will not remember them all, but they are all on my project page. And these ended up being very tall socks. I knit one entire color repeat of each colorway, except for the variegated colors, which I used for heels, cuffs, and toes. So, yes. I used the Sockmatician toe up sock recipe, pattern, whatever he calls it. I really do like this pattern for toe ups because it lets me do a toe up heel flap, which is my preferred heel, and it accommodates for a high instep, which I do have, and a high arch. What else to say about these? I did add some increases. I think you can see those there. They're not too obvious, but they are there. And I can't remember what I increased to, but I used Andrea Mowry's Fluorite pattern, which is a actual knee-high sock, and she has you increase at a certain rate. So I did wait further up the sock to start increasing because I know I can do a 90 round leg, not including the cuff, and still have it fit at my 64 stitches on a 2.25, but then I started increasing and they fit great. They are not quite knee highs, but they come, I guess mid-calf would be probably about right. And I love them, although I haven't worn them yet. And just in case there's any question, I do have two of them. So I will be joining in the Desert Vista Dyeworks knit along for 2024 because it's the last year that, I believe her name is Susan, the dyer of Desert Vista Dyeworks. It's the last year she's going to be doing the knit along, and I'm so thankful that I decided to start in 2023 because I get at least 2 years of that knit along. And I don't have the colorway in here with me, but I believe my January 2024 pair will be out of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle colorway. So it's green with the Ninja Turtle colors. I think there's red, orange, blue, or purple, and green? No, I don't know. I might be making that up. Anyway, you'll see when I start knitting them. But those are going to be for my husband, who is or was a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan back in the day. So that's my plan there. And the other object that I finished, I don't have right here with me. It's actually in my bedroom where my husband is currently sleeping because he works nights. And those are my Cozy Knitter Advent socks. I do have a picture, so I will pop that in here. You can see what the colorway looks like. It was a really pretty fade this year, and I do enjoy those socks. I have already worn them. They fit great. And again, I used the Sockmatician toe up pattern for that. Perfect fit. It took me one pair. They ended up a little bit too long, but now that I know where I need to start the gusset, it comes out perfect. So very happy to have figured that out. Now I have a great cuff down and toe up recipe. I forgot to mention for the Desert Vista Dyeworks, so this year I did all plain vanilla socks, and next year, in order to differentiate the years, I guess, I mean, maybe I would remember, maybe it doesn't matter, but this year I think I'm going to use the Blueberry Waffles sock pattern. It's a pattern that was originally written for DK weight, but I have modified it to be fingering weight several times in the past. It's a really great fitting sock pattern. I guess you could call it kind of like a broken rib, or maybe they call it the waffle stitch. I'm not sure, but it's a free pattern and it's super easy. It's a 4-round repeat, and the first 2 rounds are plain knit, and the second 2 rounds, so rounds 3 and 4, are just knit 2, purl 2. So it couldn't be easier. Hopefully I can keep track, and that will be my plan. Those are all my finished objects, I think. Oh no, I have one more, which again, I don't have here with me, but I do have a picture. And that is the Enchanted evening cap that I made for my husband. It's a pattern by Amy of Happy Little Yarn, and it's on Ravelry for free. She just released the pattern, and it's really nice. It's a folded brim, and then, just the top of the hat is one thickness, and some pretty decreases on the top. So I made that for my husband. He absolutely loves it. I did modify it slightly from the pattern, and you can see my Ravelry page to see how I modified it, but I just added a few stitches because her pattern is only written for one size, and my husband has kind of a big head, and he says he absolutely loves the way it fits, so it turned out great. Okay, now works in progress. I have really only been working on 2 recently, and mostly just 1 ever since I finished those socks. My main focus has been on my Cozy Memories blanket, and I started December with 140 squares in my blanket, and I am currently, right here, this blue one, working on square 179. So I have been adding all of my Advent minis. I had 2 Advent calendars that I'm adding into there. One being an Advent calendar that I bought minis off of Etsy, and I created my own Advent calendar. And the other one was gifted to me, so I am working my way through those. This is what I still have left to add. The bag was completely stuffed full, so the fact that you can see some blank space is very promising. But I am on day 16 of the Advent calendar at least 2 a day, because I was adding my Desert Vista Dyeworks in there as well. So currently, the last time it was squared up, my blanket was 13 by 13. So now I'm working on 14 by 14. And this is actually the side of the blanket, not the top. So not counting the one I have 3 more squares there to get to the top. And then I go all the way across the top 14, and then it will be 14 by 14. So it's growing, and I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying working on this while I am reading. I have been reading more lately. I'm trying to not spend so much of my time watching YouTube videos, which is hard, but I do enjoy reading, so I'm trying to do that when I can. The second work in progress that hasn't seen any love recently, but did in December, is my very tangled Lochcorran Vest. Lochcorran. It's not English, but that's how Google says you would say it. So this vest is sleeveless, obviously, and it is done in color work, which you can see there. It's got a 1x1 rib for the hem. It's bottom up, and the whole thing is color work. So I'm using Holst Garn Supersoft. Here are my two grays. The lighter is flannel gray, and the darker is slate gray. And then there are two brighter colors. I have a yellow that's called Pineapple, and this orangey pink called Rose Garden. So all of these colors, and I'll pop in a photo of what the vest looks like so you can get an idea. And also I have knit a swatch. Could I tell you where my swatch is? I don't know. And I'm dropping yarn. Anyway, that is the colors that I'm going to be using. And this is hopefully, other than socks, my last new cast on for a while. But I will talk to you about that in just a minute. Before I get into completely my 2024 plans, I want to announce the winner of the giveaway that I had from episode 4 of my Vlogmas. And in the contest, it was to say how many socks I was washing. So I showed a full plastic laundry pail full of socks, and then I also showed them in my washing machine and asked for people to guess how many socks were going into the wash. And the person who was closest without going over would win a $10 or less digital pattern that I can send them. So Ravelry or another digital pattern website. So the person who was the closest, nobody went over, we'll just say that. The person who was the closest, and I will pop up their comment, was Murder Knits, and I believe, I don't have it right in front of me. Actually, let me pull it up. Took a screenshot on my computer. Yes, she says, I'm going to say 52 pairs of socks, a pair a week. So 52 pairs would be 104 socks. And she was the closest. So Murder Knits, please contact me and let me know what pattern you want, and also let me know your Ravelry name or however I can send you the pattern. And the total number of socks that were in the wash was 114. So that's 72 pairs, I think. I don't know. Math's terrible, but 114 individual socks. They were all matches. So congratulations on your guess, and thank you everyone who did take a guess at that. I've only done this twice now, but every time I do it, people are like, oh, I think there's 30 socks, and I'm like, oh, you totally underestimate how much I prolong washing socks. So, and also how many pairs we have, but I'm hoping to knit my husband a few more pairs other than the turtle socks in January, because I don't think I knit him a single pair in 2023. Not that I can remember. So it's been a busy year. I did all of those sock competitions, so Sock Madness and Super Sock World Championship, and although I enjoyed it, I will say I have worn a couple of the pairs of socks and I just don't love them. Some of them are kind of a challenging fit, a lot of color work, a lot of new techniques, which I do enjoy learning. And I have enough socks that I don't necessarily need to wear them, but it's kind of nice to be able to wear them. And also it's nice to be able to make socks for other people. So I did enjoy that. I may do those competitions again in the future, but not in 2024. So let's talk about what I am going to be doing in 2024. I pulled up my Ravelry projects page, which is where I keep track of everything that I have on the needles or things that I want on the needles. So far I haven't really put my stash in there, but any project or planned project or anything like that goes in there. And according to Ravelry, I have something like 66 whips. Let that sink in for a minute. That is ridiculous. 66. Now, of those 66, several of them less than 10. I don't know exactly how many, but several of them are projects that I swatched for and made the project page but never actually cast on, but would still like to. Or projects that maybe I had the yarn and I set up the project page but never actually cast on. So that's a few of them. But we'll still say I have 50-ish. And then of those 50-ish patterns or projects, I have several that are scrappy blankets and long-term projects, very much like my Cozy Knitter Advent, or Cozy Memories. I get those two very confused. Cozy Memory Blanket, the square one, little squares that I showed you. That project has been on the needles since 2016, and it's not going to be off the needles anytime soon, even though I have put almost 40 squares in this month alone. If I was to solely work on that, maybe it would be off the needles, but that's not really my plan. So I am surrounded. You might see me like looking off to the side here. It's because I'm surrounded by whips, and I don't have all 60-ish in here with me, because I thought if I did something like that, we would be here forever. But I do have several project bags that I have not opened in the last year. And also this thing, which is quite heavy. This is one of those canvas little square things that fit in. Maybe it fits in the Calyx by IKEA, but it also fits in a bookshelf thing that we have from Costco. And so that's where this sits. And back in the day, this used to contain all of my whips. And someday in the future, I would like for it to contain all of my whips again. But I'm being very realistic with myself. I don't think there's any way I can finish all of my whips in 2024. I would love to, but I'm going to try and make a big dent. And as I'm going through some of these, I might realize that some of them need to be frogged. There are a couple in my mind that I think I'm ready to frog them, but most of them I'm not. Most of them I really want the finished object. That being said, some of these are sweaters, and I don't know that they're still going to fit. My bust size has changed. My body shape has changed. I'm working on making myself a bit smaller, but it doesn't seem to be working well, and I'm definitely a work in progress. So I have to be realistic for where I am now, and if any of these projects are way too small, then they are probably also going to get frogged. So I think let's just pick these up and see what's inside, because I have a feeling there are multiple things in some of these project bags. This one is just a faux leather tote that I got off of Amazon because I loved it. So I do know, I can see anyway what's on top of here. And try not to lose stitches on the needles. This is the Shifty Sweater? I believe the Shifty Sweater by Andrea Mowry. I might be showing you the back, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is still going to fit, and I'm pretty far, like clearly I'm still on the body. But, you know, I'm probably 8 or so inches beyond the separation of sleeves. So this isn't a whip that I'm like itching to cast on right away, or not cast on, but pick back up right away. But it is still actually on knitting needles, so it would be pretty easy, although, you know, I have to figure out where I am in the pattern. That's always fun. Some of these projects I do have in my knit companion, and that does help with remembering where I was. But yeah, I do love this. This would be just such a great Christmas sweater, and we just had Christmas. It'd be a nice goal to have this done by Christmas if it still fits. Next Christmas, I mean, obviously. Oh gosh, looking through here. So I have the yarns. The glittery color changing yarn I'm using is the Hobby Sock yarn for Christmas. Looks like I have 3 of the colorways in here, and I don't remember how many there are. I think there's actually 6 total. But I'm using 3 of the colors and then just a undyed white for the base. Let me see. I see another sweater in here. And this one is so silly that I set it aside, but I did. This, what is this even called? This is the Newspaper Pullover by Joji Locatelli. The entire body's done. Not blocked, of course, but done. and I started one sleeve. So not much of a sleeve, but I did start a sleeve. Again, I would have to figure out where I am. This is the yarn that I'm using. This is a Knit Picks Chroma Twist. I do not know the colorway, but there seems to be a ball band in here. Colorway is Fog Bank, and it is a color changing yarn. If I remember right, it's called the Newspaper Pullover. Hohi's project was black and white, and so I'm again using an undyed white with this one, which, you know, it's not black, but it's different shades of gray, and I think it's quite effective. So brioche is pretty forgiving. I don't like anything that's super tight, and I know this will block out quite a bit, but yeah, I really just need to finish the sleeves. Sleeve Island is real, for sure. So that is everything from this project bag. I'll put back in here without losing stitches again. So 2 sweaters in one bag. That one, we know what's in here now. And both of those I would definitely like to finish. Okay, here we have a not very fancy project bag, but it is from my local yarn store, Candy Skein, in Astoria, Oregon. And I remember this project very well. This is the start. Let's see, am I showing you? Nope, I'm showing you the wrong side. This is the start of the Ponderosa sweater by Wool & Pine. Sounds right. Again, it will be linked below, or it will be in my Ravelry project pages. But this is an all-over cabled sweater. I know it doesn't look like a sweater yet, and it's the first time I've ever done anything pieced, I believe. So you knit the front panel, I believe it's just flat, like a flat square with cables, and then you knit the back one, and then I think there are sleeves. But I bought this really pretty color. Do I remember the name? I don't. It seems that I have like 4 skeins of it in here, and none of them have a label, so I don't know what color it is, but it's all Candy Skein, her hand-dyed yarn. So I would like to do this, but obviously it's not very far, so I need to check and see if I was making the right size. And also, I guess I was alternating skeins, so I have 2 skeins going, which is smart with hand-dyed. Smart to do that so you don't get pooling. And I do want to finish this, but you know, the fact that it's not very far along, it would not be the top priority for 2024. Okay, what else do we have in here? I have this overflowing project bag, and I see what's on top here. This is the, what's it called? I literally just knit another one of these out of Handspun, Attune Shawl. This is the Attune Shawl by Andrea Mowry. And I cast this on, gosh, when the pattern first came out, I think. And I'm using undyed. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Undyed is just so versatile. It's always a good contrast or a blender or whatever you need it to be. It's great. And for the main color, I am using another Knit Picks Chroma Twist. So sad that they discontinued this yarn. They do have other versions of chroma. They have a singles yarn and I think a chunky or very heavyweight chroma twist, but they got rid of the fingering. And this color is, drumroll please, because I can't get this open. The color is Dear Diary. And I do want this finished object. I'm terrible. I don't wear my shawls. I really should wear my shawls more, but I really like this combination of colors. That being said, I made the Handspun one, and I like this portion of the project, but man, I did not enjoy knitting the border. I don't want to say it, but I might frog this. I already own one of these shawls. Do I need to? I don't know. I can't decide on this one yet, so this may be getting frogged. What do you guys think? Do I need 2 attuned shawls? Probably not. The next whip in this same bag is a sock. I do remember that this is Knitted Wit sock. I knew the colorway. It just like came in my head and then it immediately left. This is a sock that I cast on for my father-in-law. I think the last time I was working on it, we were still in Arizona visiting them last year. Roughly around then anyway. And they haven't gotten much work. I think the pattern is Helgen socks by Anna Knitter. It's supposed to look like dragon scales, which I thought this was a good color for dragon scales. I would like to finish these because my father-in-law is very knit-worthy and he does love his socks. So I'm trying to set aside all the things that came out of this bag. There's a lot more in here, and I don't know if there's actually any projects. It looks like just a lot of random yarn. I don't really know why it's in here. Like this, I think these are left over from my Stephen West MCal in 2022. That sounds right. Yep, because here's some little remnants. So apparently I never did anything with that. Just pile another project on top, no big deal. Yeah, I'm finding all the things. I'm like, where'd that go? Here's my little tape measure from Candy Skein. This is why, oh gosh, this is why we have to have multiples. Here's a pink tape measure and a bear tape measure. Yes, in addition to getting some projects done, like I seriously need to sort through my project bags and get stuff put away, because I guarantee you once I put stuff away, I will find that I have all the needles and notions and all the things that I could possibly need instead of buying more. So that is that project bag. Like I said, there's a lot of extras in there that need to be put away. The next project bag that I see is this cute little seagull one that I just had to have because I live at the coast and gosh, do we have seagulls. The little bags that you see peeking out here, these are all from a Yarn to Dye For Advent. It must have been 2020. She doesn't even dye anymore. But these were leftovers that I had set aside to put into my Cozy Memories blanket. And I had already started those. So I do want to put these into my Cozy Memories. And then the leftovers will go into another scrappy project. Oh goodness, I see some fun things in here. Here we have one finished sock. I wish I could remember the name of the pattern, but this is a Stephen West sock. Is it the, I don't think it's Pierre. Anyhow, it's a textured sock, and I was making this for my mother-in-law. I even have the second one cast on. It's a cuff. And there's the pretty yarn that I do remember is from Knit Crate. So I do want to finish those, and the fact that I'm over halfway done is promising. Oh gosh, I found my swatch for my love note that I did finish. There's just so many things in here. But the real amazing thing that I have found, again, I don't want to lose stitches. Here is my Handspun Weekender Light by Andrew Mowry. I have a Weekender, the original pattern, and I love that sweater. And so I cast this on with all Handspun. I did a combo spin and barely got started, just barely. So I would definitely like to finish this. I only have one skein of the Handspun in here, but I have so many more. I think 4 or 5 skeins. And if you're not familiar with Weekender, it's a oversized boxy sweater, so I would need lots of yarn. It's really pretty. I don't know why. I'm not good at sticking to my Handspun projects, and I really should be. So this I definitely want to finish because like I said, I love the fit of the regular Weekender sweater, and Yes, I would really like to have that out of my handspun. So all of these are going back in here to include, you know what, I should put all these in with my Cozy Memories blanket. So now this bag looks emptier, but the other one is fuller. Okay. Here we have a project bag that I know I bought from Candy Skein, but it is by Tomato Moon. And I see another handspun project in here. First off, I'm doing socks 2 at a time, which is never my favorite. But do you see how different they are, but yet it's the same fiber? These are so fun. I did half of the skein as a chain ply, so it's self-striping, and then I did half as a traditional 3-ply. So you get 2 very different yarns out of the same, whatever you want to call it, the same fiber. And the fiber was from Spindalicious. I don't remember the colorway name. It might have been like Totally. That sounds right, but I might be making that up. And for heels, cuffs, and toes, I do have this Knit Pick Stroll in Pucker and Pickle Juice. I don't think they make this one anymore, but they really should. So yeah, this goes perfectly. I don't remember why I stopped working on these other than the fact that they're 2 at a time, except that I know I was having an issue with the yarn. If I remember right, I don't remember. But anyway, as I'm knitting it, I know it's coming unplied, and that's really annoying. So I do want these finished though. Aren't those pretty? I just can't stop looking at them. They're so pretty. I wonder too, I know I was knitting these to be like the DRK Everyday Socks pattern, but not ribbed, meaning it uses the Fleagle heel. And I feel like these are just about the right length to do the Sockmatician toe up, which I think I like better. So I'll have to measure. I might take off and do that pattern. So I would like to knit these. I don't plan on frogging. That's what's in this bag. Here's another cute little project bag. Also bought from Candy Skein, and it's by Erica Schmerica Designs. Speaking of, I used to follow her on Instagram. She had a bulldog and read lots and lots of books. She had these huge bookshelves, and I don't know what happened to her. She just disappeared. I don't know if she's still making project bags. I don't know. I think she's from Oregon though, like me. In this bag, I have one gigantic sock. This is I know it's a pattern by Andrew Mowry. I can't think of the name of it. I thought I guess it's the way the light's on there. It looks like it's stained, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the yarn. Anyhow, these are socks for my husband who wears a US men's 13. Very large. And it's tangled, but I do have the second sock going. Man, that's a big sock. So yes, I definitely do want to finish these because like I said, I want to knit him some more socks this year. Curio, that's what these are called, Curio socks. So again, my famous undyed yarn, and I am pairing that with this Match 100 sock yarn in this brown sort of variegated self-striping with no colorway name, but it's colorway 55252. I don't even remember where I bought it from or if it's still available. So yep, these are going to get finished. I wonder, I might need to put these on a 9-inch circular. That might be part of my problem because I see I have them on Magic Loop, which is not my favorite sock knitting method. And here's a fun one. I remember that someone made this for me. And inside here, I have this really pretty pink cotton vest. I don't remember the name of this one at all. But who's it by? I can't think of her name. She has a podcast in French and English. And this yarn is just so soft. I don't ever knit with cotton yarn. This is what it looks like. It's a chainette yarn. And I got this from Joanne Fabrics. It's the KC Knit and Crochet Bliss, 53% cotton, 34% acrylic, and 13% polyamide. What weight of yarn is this? It doesn't say, but it's 50 grams, 195 yards. So I think that's about fingering, isn't it? And what's the color? Blush. The color is called Blush. So it's kind of like this self-striping. I think you can see that it's a multicolor, and it's not very far along, but I remember just loving this project. I do like knitting cables. So it looks like not only is there cables, but there's twisted stitches. My only worry is that this yarn is very flimsy isn't the right word, but I mean, it will for sure have a lot of stretch. I worry it might just like stretch out of shape, but I think this is called the Muriel Vest. That sounds right. I haven't worked on this in quite a long time, but I really like this. So I do want to keep going on this. Hopefully it still fits. This is one I am worried that it might not fit. I also have this second color that may go for the cuffs because I wasn't sure that I would have enough yarn. Well, this says here it does say it's a DK weight. It's interesting. 195 yards and 50 grams. So that's almost 400, but yet it's a DK weight. That's very interesting. This color is maroon white. So not very creative, but I thought this would be, if I do run out of yarn, this would be a very nice like neckband, sleeve cuffs, and the bottom hem. I think that will go really well. So lots of extras of that. And then somehow in the bottom of here, I have 2 skeins of yarn that are not open, not cast on, not nothing. So these can go into stash. I think I was going to knit a pair of DK weight socks for myself is my guess, because I have 2 of these. No idea why else I would have 2. And then what a fun little surprise. I have some Crafty Jack's fiber little, I think this is like a little sample that she sends when you do an order. So I haven't spun that. So let's put all of the yarn for this project back in here. And I was thinking, I knew that I had this on the needles. I didn't forget about this, but I have yet to finish a vest. So between the Lochcorran Vest and this one, it'll be very interesting to see how I like vests or how I actually wear them. I have a maroon colored like smart wool shirt that would look really good with that pink, and especially if I add the maroon borders, it will look really good with that. So just like knowing how to wear things or like what to wear them with. In this project bag that was made by knitting expat Mina Phillip back when she made bags under Mina Makes. I don't know what's in here. I'm guessing socks. Oh, yeah, well, there's some black knit pick stroll. Oh, goodness. I have a huge mess is what I have. I have the beginnings of 2 handspun socks. And I can see that this is the DRK Everyday Sock pattern because it's toe up and it's ribbed. And this is my handspun. I remember this was some Cheviot. And obviously these look very different, but I don't think that they are spun differently. It's a very kind of coarse feeling I don't know if I overspun it or what, but that shouldn't be bad for socks. But I think I was having the same issue with these as it coming unplied when I was knitting it. Man, do you see that? Look at this mess. That's going to take forever. So I don't know. I don't think I'll frog these. I know there's not very much done, but I don't see that there's much else I could use this yarn for other than socks because it's quite coarse. I don't know a better word for it than that. I also have some other random yarn in here. I don't know what this is. It looks like Desert Vista Dyeworks, maybe. I don't know. No indicator in here what it is, so these two must have been for something. They look like they go together. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think this is Knit Picks Felici. And I think I was gonna knit a multicolor sock. Maybe the Curio, I don't know. Those are gonna get set aside because they are not cast on. And this mess is going back in here. It's kind of sad, all these handspun projects that I have that just need to be worked on. I like my handspun, but I have learned a lot. Like, clearly those are very old, or at least older, and I have learned a lot since then. What is next? In this project bag, which is, I remember who this is by, but I don't see, oh, there it is. Rosa by Lily. I don't know if she's still making bags, but I have a couple by her and I like them. Very importantly, we have some Excedrin migraine. I probably was looking for this at some point. And we have a lot of sock yarn in here. And I know exactly what this is for. And I don't know if I'm going to continue to still make these, which is kind of sad because I wanted to make these for the longest time. This is a sock that I cast on for my husband. It is the pencil sock, and I can't remember if I was following the pattern or if I was just doing my own thing. It looks like I was following a pattern because I don't know that I would know to do this otherwise. But it was for my husband, and he was a teacher for 15 years and he's no longer teaching. So I don't know that this is, but what else will I do with these colors of yarn? Like, for sure, gray and black, that's easy. And even brown, not bad. Pink, I love pink. But this dang yellow. This is dandelion. So yeah, I'll probably ask him if he still wants me to make them for him. And if not, those will be getting frogged. So that was everything in here. Now I have a Hohi Locatelli canvas project bag with leather handles. I see my swatch for my Christmas shifty that I've showed you already. And I have the start to a half and half triangles wrap. And I remember I was working on this when we were in Mexico 2 years ago. And this is the project where my needles got taken by Mexico TSA and they threw them away. So luckily I had this on one of these cords as like a precaution. Or no, was it on that? Or maybe I just had it on waste yarn. Either way, I had definitely put in a lifeline because I was concerned that could happen. But it's the first time it actually happened, and I was so thankful because I didn't have all of this knit, but I had quite a bit of it. And literally from the airport, as soon as we got through TSA, I was ordering new needles so that I could recast on. But it's such a bummer. I'm actually making this in the Purl Soho linen quill yarn. 2 of these. Oh, I wonder if I knit a whole one already. I don't know. This color is somewhere. Bright Flamingo. I'd say that's pretty accurate. I must have already knit through more than one ball because I only see one in some of this one, and I have 3 of the contrast color that will be the other half of it. And I feel like this is Peach Pit or something like that. Oh, Peach Stone. Close enough. So, yes, this isn't like super high on my completed list, but I will say, I was talking about reading and knitting. This is excellent reading and knitting because, you know, obviously there's the marker there where you need to do your short row, but beyond that, or no, it's not even that marker, it's this marker. Beyond that, it's just knit, knit, knit the whole way. So there's some very long rows. There's something on my, probably moss from Mexico. I don't know. What else is in here? Oh, we have some nice Lolo Bar Blackberry Sage. And the things that are in here, like I said, I could definitely be more proficient in where all my tools are. I have some sock yarn that isn't attached to anything, so that will get added back to stash. I have 2 things of mohair. Well, I don't know that they're quite full. If I remember right, what's this from? I think this is from my, is it the Sunday Cardigan mohair edition? I think that's what this is from. I could be wrong. And then I see 2 skeins of this, but I know what this is for, and I need to set this aside so it can go in the correct project bag. What do you guys think? All the projects that you've seen so far, not a chance that I'm going to get all these finished in 2024, right? I'm not even done, and I'm not even showing them all to you today. I also have this hand bomb in there. All the things. Yep, that's it. I don't know why I have this little thing. Maybe that was what I had left from one. I don't know. So this project's going back in here. I'm actually kind of amazed. I haven't found anything too crazy in any of these bags yet. Just kind of sad that I neglected them. I don't know why I transition so fast sometimes. Just too many things going on. This fun project bag, I think there is nothing, yep, no projects in here. Lots of other things. More hand lotion and minis. I love this color. It says by Oink Pigments. I just love that color. And other smelly good things in here. But no project. Okay, this is not exactly a project bag, but I remember I got this as a wedding gift, and it's a waterproof bag. Probably the zipper is not waterproof, but it was before we were going to Mexico. Oh, and I recognize the project in here. This just needs to be done. This is a long tube that will eventually be a cowl. It will get Kitchenered together. And this was what I was calling my cinema cowl. I cast this on way before COVID was ever a thing, which is a long time ago now. Because when we would go to the movies, it was perfect. I could just knit in the round and only knit. Super easy. This is all I have left of the second ball of yarn. And that was my goal. I knit all of the first skein into that one there. And then this was the second skein. And that was the whole goal, was just to knit the 2 skeins and kitchen them together, and then, you know, be a cowl. So, yep, I just need to finish this. This, again, would be really great reading knitting. And I'm not going to lie, I want to cast another one on. Not, you know, not because it doesn't get any work, but it's just the perfect, I don't know, take it anywhere project. I do have these on these Chiago needles with the bend in them, and I don't really care for that very much at all. What size are these? Don't know. These are, why do they have to make these so hard to read? 2.75 millimeter needles. So yeah, the reason I want to start another one is I saw Anna Knitter doing something similar, except for she's using her Advent minis, her opals, and she did like 3 stripes alternating, and I really just like how it turned out. So that's everything in here. That should be pretty easy to finish. I don't know how much yarn is left there, but I'm going to guess like 20 grams or so. So that is there. I didn't tell you, but we are to that white canvas thing that I showed you earlier. Here is a little green project bag. I remember I bought this when this company was going out of business. So it's called Chica, for sure not made anymore. And this is very old. In here, I have some green yarn and some multicolor yarn. And I have the start of a toe. And more of this yarn. And a whole big tangly mess. Okay, here we go. Here's, oh, see, this isn't even on a needle. Clearly this one is getting ripped out, so that's an easy one. This for sure is, I was making a shorty. I remember who the designer of this was, and without adding too much drama, we used to be friends, we're not friends, and it will feel really good to rip this out. As bad as that sounds, it's the truth. So that's an easy one. And I don't know why I have this random little mini in here. That needs to go away. This feels like very woolly wool, so I don't know if I would use this in my cozy memories, but maybe I already did. I don't know. And this, honestly, this will get ripped out because I was doing, it looks like the umbrella toe, which isn't my favorite. And I don't know who these were for or any of that. So that's getting set aside. And wow, out of this whole thing, we have one almost empty project bag. There's something in here. What just fell out? Who knows? Numbers about something. And, oh, a button that I was using for 2 at a time, something or other. Probably socks. One empty project bag. This project bag, which is that like wax canvas. I don't remember who made this one. Tanny Casey, I think. And if I remember right, it was for some sort of, what do you call it? Charity sort of thing. Oh, I probably have been looking for these. These look like nice scissors. And this here is, am I showing you the right side? I don't think so. This is my Birds of a Feather. And I'm using pink mohair that I bought. Gosh, who dyed that? I want to say it was Knitted Wit. Anyway, I don't think they dye mohair anymore, but this was my very first Stephen West knit along. I had a bunch of mohair left over because it was like a 250 gram skein of mohair. It was crazy. Also amazing. Look at this. So I was using that for Birds of a Feather. Now, if I were going to cast this on today, I would have picked a better contrast color, but I don't hate it. And there's nothing else I'm going to do with this yarn. So I think I'll keep that on the needles. It goes. It could be better, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not very far on this. I don't know how big of a shawl it is, but I think I have a long way to go. And that was what I set these two aside for, because I don't know how much yarn it's supposed to take. This is just massive. This is what I had left over. It's huge. Anyway, that's all going to go back in here. I have picked this up once since I set it aside for a long time, and it was difficult to figure out where I was again, and also this needs a bigger bag. I think this is all going to go back in this project bag. what was I saying? It was hard to figure out where I was, and yeah, I don't love the lace pattern. It's, I don't know, it's not hard, but it's not easy. It's medium, I don't know. All right, that fits better in here. Now it actually closes. I have an empty project bag. This was a project bag. I can't remember who it was bought through, but Mina Phillip designed this. It was one of her watercolors. I don't see the company name. I don't know if she's still doing this. Was it Spreadshirt maybe? And then I have an empty, pretty sure it's empty. Yep, empty twisted bag. This used to be the yarn shop that I like to go to in Portland, Oregon, but it has since closed. Oh, here we go. Here's another bag that Mina Phillip designed. Her art. This one is not empty. Oh, look at that. Just yarn. There's no project in here. More yarn to get put away. And stitch markers. Oh, this one here, which I really like. I had a couple of these and at least one of them broke. But these were made by Rachel Smith of Wool and Spinning, and I won them at some point for something, but I really like that one. So I will add that back to my stitch marker little thing. This bag here, which is seen better days, is a bag that was made by Jody Brown. Yep, Mrs. Brown's Bags, which I've had for a very long time. What is in here? Oh, goodness. Oh, I do know what this is. Look at that pretty yarn. This is a cowl. It's the sockhead cowl. And man, I love this pattern. This is actually the yarn that's called for in this pattern. It's the Misty Alpaca. And gosh, this yarn is old. I bought this. Of course, it doesn't have the year, but I remember the yarn store that I bought this from, and they basically went out of business as I started learning to knit. So I think I bought this on clearance as they were closing down. The color is HS19, but it says red, blue, green. And yeah, I have one other that I've knit out of this yarn, and oh man, I love this cowl. This is my favorite cowl, and this yarn is so soft. So I think I intended this one to be for my husband because, like I said, I knit one already. Fabulous pattern, and I definitely will make this at some point. Even though it's just a sad little cast on right now. Oh, we have another empty project bag. I need to add these to my project bags up here. This is Sockmatician. I don't know if she still makes bags either. This is very, very old, from like when I first started knitting in around 2016. Here's another Tanny Casey bag with the wax leather. I just love this print. It's so pretty. What's in here? Well, we have one Colorwork sock. I remember this is a pattern by Ducathy on Ravelry. And I do remember that I'm using some yarn that is not sock yarn. So I don't know how it's going to hold up. It's Cascade 220 in their fingering weight. So no nylon. But oh, it's so pretty. I really like this in the low contrast. It's just really, really pretty. I also see something in here that I haven't worked on in such a long time. Doesn't look like anything. This was the start of a beekeeper quilt. It's just huge, right? It is all puffed though. I did stuff them. It's really pretty. I like it. But I don't see this being a focus for me anytime soon. Maybe never. We'll just put it there. Maybe never. Yeah, I have another tangle of yarn all over the place. Here go. It's mostly untangled, mostly. I don't know. I do enjoy colorwork socks. I probably will finish this. That's the yarn. Set that aside. Oh, I see something here. I don't think I have any intention of finishing this. This is one of the, I believe, local yarn store patterns that Casapinka did. Couldn't tell you what year. I went to Candy Skein Yarns in Astoria and I bought the yarn, which is beautiful. And clearly I cast on the shawl, which I don't remember the name of. Using these two colors. Wow, I'm at least halfway through those colors. Is there only two? I don't know. Maybe I will finish it. That's interesting. This I got in a knit crate. It's looks like the top of a mushroom, and I think it was supposed to be for darning. I don't know why that's in there. This here I was using for the, gosh, this is a mess. This was for the beekeeper quilt blanket thing. I was using this to join them so that can go with my yarns. I have no idea what this is for. This looks like a scrap and more yarn barf. That's it for that one. I really don't know if I'm gonna frog this or keep going, but for now it's just going back in the bag. Oh, I am definitely gonna keep going on that sock. I just found the other one. Look at that. So I have, oh, I've even done the heel. All I have to do is the foot. Well, I'll definitely finish that. I'm gonna put that in this bag right here. You see now why, I mean, if you're still here with me an hour later, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and looking through all this chaos with me. It really does feel like chaos, and this is why I need to focus on whips this year. So many empty-ish project bags. Oh, you know what? So, nail clippers. You wouldn't think that that's like a knitting thing, but I'm telling you, this is really great for taking on the airplane with you. I learned about nail clippers when I was in the Navy because we would use these to clip like little strings. You can't have any, what do they call them? Flags? I feel like they call them flags. If you had like a little string coming off of where your shirt was sewn together, you had to clip all those off. And the TSA will not stop you from having nail clippers in your knitting or any carry-on. So I know that's why that is in there, because I use that for ends. Yep, I have a couple stitch markers in here. And that's just an empty bag. No idea. What a weird stitch marker. I wonder if this is broken. It literally, if I can show it to you, it's literally just like a little, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. That's all it is. All right, that's empty. Oh, I'm getting rid of this bag for sure. I got this when we were in Puerto Vallarta. It says Puerto Vallarta. And I got it for a project bag, but I don't really love it. So that is empty, except for a little bit of trash in there. Here is, I have this shoved in here. I think it's supposed to go to it. But here is a Harry Potter Gryffindor mitten that I was making for my brother-in-law. I have a finished set that I made for my sister-in-law that I still haven't gifted. These are years old. I don't know where the actual other yarn is, but I mean, I would like to finish this so I could gift them to them. They're big, or at least were big Harry Potter fans. I think they still are. So I'm assuming, because I had this needle tucked in here like that, that this goes to that. So it's almost done. Although I'd still need to do one more mitten. Oh, this is a fun empty project bag. I just have all these bags just shoved in here. So I guess it looks worse than it is. Yeah. The whole bottom part here is really, oh, this for sure is getting frogged. I don't know why. I didn't like this yarn, or at least with this pattern. This was a Christmas yarn that I got in a Advent swap years ago. I don't remember who sent it to me. And I remember the pattern is something like Candy Cane Lane that I got from, or it's from Knitting Expat, I believe. And just the combination of this yarn, I don't know if it's this yarn in socks or this yarn in this pattern. It's just very plump and unforgiving, and I remember really not enjoying knitting on it. So I'm gonna frog that. This would make a great muscle burrow hat, I think. Not that I'm gonna cast on, but I could use it for that. Speaking of muscle burrow hats, here's one right here that I started. This I know was for my husband because he's a redhead and green looks good on redheads. This is simply sock yarn, and it's in shade 13 from Mary Maxim. So, yep, that wouldn't take too much work to finish, I guess. I have an old pay stub in here. I don't know why. Oh, this. Oh, goodness. There should be another one of these in here somewhere. Wow. I don't know where the other one is, but I know I finished one of these socks. This is from the 52 Weeks of Socks. It's the very first pattern by Marceline. And I am 99% sure. I don't know where it would be though. I swear I finished the first sock. I guess I have to figure out where that is, but yes, if I have finished the other one, I will finish the second one. It's almost done. And beyond that, let me just show you what else is in here. Like it's literally just a mess. So I'm gonna clean that out. Anyway, those are all the whips that I'm gonna show you for today. There are more. But thank you for joining me on this long journey. And I'm not gonna lie, having gone through it, it's a bit overwhelming because I'm just like, what do I even pick to work on first? My January plans, other than my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, are going to be to focus on the Lochcorran Vest and the Cozy Memories blanket, getting those advent squares in. So I think if I just take it one little bit at a time and maybe start with the whip that's closest to being done, I'm not sure. I'm just going to work on each one as I go and try and be somewhat monogamous amongst all these whips. I think if I just work on one at a time, it's not going to feel as daunting, and hopefully I can make some really good progress. So now that we are wrapping up here, I'm curious to know, do you also have a ton of whips? Are you feeling like I do? Have you gotten out of control over the years and just cast all the things on and now you don't know what to do, where to put them? There's no more little corners to tuck them into. That's where I am at right now. So very much like I realized that my stash was getting out of control a few years ago and I'm making steps towards, reining that in. I realize now that my whips are also out of control. So I'm going to work on having less of those by the end of the year. I hope you'll follow me along in the journey and maybe join me. I do have a couple of friends and it keeps growing. More and more people are joining in on this whip down in 2024. So I hope that you will join me. And if you already have your whips under control, I applaud you. And if you have any tips for doing that or avoiding the FOMO, avoiding the urge to cast on all the things and join all the knit-alongs, I would love to hear your strategy. I think I just need to immerse myself less in all the things and just focus on me and what I want to work on. But that's easier said than done. I'm going to attempt to clean up this mess that I have going on here, finish clearing out this canvas tote, and figure out where to put these whips again. And I will talk to you all soon. I hope you're having a wonderful end of the year and have a lovely and safe New Year's celebration, if that's your thing, or sit on the couch and knit like I'll be doing. And I will be talking to you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh my gosh, I was just sitting here cleaning out this canvas tote. Look what I found. $50 Amazon card. How does one forget they have this? I don't know, but this is going to come in handy. I haven't used it yet. I don't know when this is from. I hope they're good indefinitely. and accountability, proof that I'm actually going to frog things. Taking the needles out, stitch markers, all the things. I can't even imagine how many needles I probably have like in projects right now. There we go, pulling it out.